Hello everyone, it's Dan here, and today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I thought it might be a bit fun, now that I've opened up BT5 Battle of Omni, I thought it might be fun to look at my most valuable cards according to the American website TCGplayer.com, and see if I can compare how much I may have paid for those cards with what their current value is, and see whether I've made a loss or whether I've made some sort of profit. Now, I don't actually intend to sell my cards. I don't collect for the money. What I do sell are duplicates, so if I get the same card twice, I will sell it on so that I can use the money to then buy cards that I don't have. But I aim to have one of each of the standard art of cards, and then I also have some of the promos and alternate arts and things like that, but I tend not to go out of my way to buy those. So obviously some of the most expensive cards are the alternate art cards, and I do have some of them in this list. In fact, I think it's actually about half of my top 5 that are alternate arts, but none of them I actually purchased outright. They will have come from something, for example a booster box or similar. So let's get started and see what we have to contend with. So to start off with, at number 10 we have Omnimon Alta S. Now this is my number 10 most valuable card, and it's just the standard art version. I don't actually have the alternate art, which is of course worth more. So according to TCG Player, Omnimon Alta S currently has a market value of $43, which sounds pretty good. However, I purchased this card back when version 1.5 was brand new, and Omnimon Alta S was the only card I didn't have, so I went out and purchased it. I got it for what was a good price at the time, which was 50 GBP, £50, which is the equivalent of $68. So actually, if I were to sell Omnimon now, I would have made a $25 loss if I were to sell at TCG Player's market value, so that is unfortunate. One thing to bear in mind, however, is that the UK market is different to the US market, so the prices, although they may be down to $43 in America, which would be the equivalent of something like, I don't know, £32, something like that, you'd be lucky to find one of these on eBay or other marketing websites for that price. So just thought it'd be worth mentioning. So already off to a bit of a rough start with Omnimon Altar S, giving us a negative total in our column, but that's okay. Let's move on to a bit of an improvement. So at number 9 we have Pulsemod. So Pulsemod was a pre-release promo. I think it was a pre-release tournament promo actually for Great Legend BT4. I received Pulsemod for free. I actually received 2 of them because they were giving out 1 per booster box when you purchase the pre-release BT4 booster boxes. So I received 2 Pulsemods, and I sold one of them at the time on eBay, and I think I sold it for approximately £20, which is maybe $25, something like that. The current market value for Pulsemod is $44, which is actually quite enormous, and it keeps rising. I believe that's just because there was a limited print of this card and it is quite playable, so that is pushing the value up and up. So that's pretty cool that this promo is on its own just getting pushed up by being playable. I like that, but as I said, I don't plan on selling him because he's one of my singles. So moving on to number 8. Now this is an interesting one. This is Lilithmon from BT1. So this is just a standard super rare, no alternate art. This is the standard art, and I've actually had 2 of these. I originally purchased Lilithmon because it was one of the few super rares that I didn't own, and then I was fortunate / unfortunate enough to pull a second Lilithmon in another booster pack. I think I actually did that on a video on his channel. So that's kind of unfortunate, that I could have just pulled it if I was patient, but you never know with these things, and I am impatient, as you may have discovered if you watch some of my videos. So Lilithmon I purchased at the time for 15 GBP, which is the equivalent of $21 US. At the moment, Lilithmon holds a market value of $46 US, so actually that's a $25 increase. So I've done pretty well on Lilithmon, even though I pulled a second one. I purchased this one for a much lower price than she's currently sitting at, so I'm pretty happy with that. But again, like I said, the UK market is very different. You can actually find Lilith Mons on UK eBay for much less than $46. We're probably looking more around £20, if that. So she hasn't really changed too much in the UK, but has pretty large value in the US because she is quite playable. Moving on to number 7, and we have Cocytus Breath. Now this is the alternate art that comes with the Tamer's Evolution box, which is very much heavily out of print. So according to TCG Player, this card currently holds a value of $47 US. Now I didn't buy this card outright, obviously I got mine as part of my Tamer's box, which I bought for £120 or $164 in total. So when you factor in the fact that this card on its own is $47, and you get 8 cards plus the Japanese equivalents plus a bunch of other stuff, I think that's a pretty good value. So yeah, very happy with that. $47 Cocytus Breath. Moving on, we have number 6, which is Omnimon Altar Defeat. So this is one of the new secret rares in Battle of Omni, and this is the standard art version. So this card is, I think, quite playable, which is why it has quite a lot of value. There is also Omnimon X Antibody as the second secret rare, but that one doesn't have anywhere near as much value. This card is currently sitting at a value of $52 on TCG Player, and that's and I didn't have to purchase this card because I actually pulled it from my booster box. So I was very fortunate to pull both of the secret rares in 2 different boxes, and I didn't pay anything for this. However, it is worth mentioning that the box I paid for was £75 or $103 US, which is a very good price actually in the UK. Normally it's £80 that you pay for a box. So the fact that this is $52 on its own, just for one single card, I think is pretty good value. So that's number 6. Moving on to number 5, and we have Hammer Spark. So another Tamer's Evolution card, the alternate art from the starter deck. This card is currently sitting at a value of $71 US. So we've made quite a jump on this one. So $71 US for Hammer Spark, and again, I got this one in my Tamer box, so I didn't pay an individual price for this card, but very good value on Hammer Spark. Next on the list, we have number 4, which is Lucifon. So this is the standard art version of Lucifon from BT4 Grey Legend. I don't actually have the alternate art. And Lucifon has ballooned in price, which I imagine will burst once there have been reprints. However, at the moment there aren't many of these cards, and he's very much needed for the current meta for yellow. My understanding as well is that in Japan they've also announced that there's another kind of Lucifon that's coming out, which will increase this card's popularity even more because its ability relies on other Lucifon cards. So currently Lucifon is sitting on TCG Player for $80 US, which is crazy for a single card, especially for a standard art secret rare. Now, Lucifon I didn't pull from my boxes or my packs. I had to buy Lucifon outright, and I paid £35 or $48 US for Lucifon. So that was quite a lot at the time. However, $48 compared to the $80 he currently holds, that's good value at the time. I'm sure he will drop once he falls out of the meta, but so far, pretty happy with that. So moving on then to number 3, we have Omnimon Altar Defeat Alternate Art. So somehow someone must have had my back the day that I received my Battle of Omni boxes, because Omnimon Altar Defeat and its alternate art were pulled from the same box, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's the luckiest I've ever been in a booster box. So obviously, as I pulled this from a booster box, I didn't pay outright for it. The box again, I bought for $103 US, and this card currently holds a value of $83 US on its own. So that's only a $20 difference between this and the value of the box. In fact, if I were to sell both the regular card art and the alternate art of this card, I would have made a pretty big profit and kept everything else. So pretty incredible pull, this card. Moving on to number 2, I think that probably anyone could guess what these last 2 most valuable cards would be. So number 2, we have Gaia Force, and again, this is a Tamer Evolution box. Alternate art, Gaia Force is a very popular card, and this alt art is sitting at a value of $125 US on TCG Player, which is absolutely outrageous. I mean, it's a very cool looking card for sure, don't get me wrong, but $125 for one card? Whew. And it's just Gaia Force. I mean, Gaia Force is a starter deck card, so you can, if you were planning on running it in a deck, I guess you could just use a starter deck version. But you know, people do love to spend money on cards, so $125 US for Gaia Force. That almost pays for the entirety of the Tame Revolution box, quite frankly. And finally, number one, we have Omnimon Altar, to no one's surprise. This card has retained its value since BT1. It is a very collectible card. It's considered, I believe, to be the shiny Charizard of the first set. You know, it's the first set, it's the most valuable card, one of the most popular Digimon, and this is the alternate art of it. I was very lucky to pull this card from my very first pre-release box of version 1.0. I didn't even know what I had at the time. I also pulled a secret rare Metal Greymon, the standard art, and I believed that one to be the most valuable card in the set, just purely based on, well, not based on much, but this card has continued to rise in value, but it's always been at a high value, so it's not a new thing. Currently on TCG Player, this card is sitting at a market value of $137 US. So that's $137 US for a single card, whereas the standard art version is only going for $29 US. So that's a huge, over $100 difference just for the alternate art. But it's a great card. It's the sort of thing where I've never actually graded my cards, but if I was to start grading cards, this would be the one I would start with for sure. And there you have it. So those are my top 10 most valuable cards. If I were to look at all of the 8 promo cards that you get from the Tame Revolution box, that being Gaia Force, Hammerspark, Cookhides' Breath, as mentioned in this video. We also have Flower Cannon, Heaven's Charm, Heaven's Gate, Shadow Wing, and Hornbuster. If you were to add up the current market value of all 8 of those cards, you'd be looking at $326 US. Which, when you consider I spent $164 US on my box, I think that's pretty good value. It's also worth mentioning that TCG Player markets a sealed box at $307 US. So if you were to buy a sealed box and sell each of the individual English cards, just the English cards, you would make a profit and be able to keep all of the other parts of the box, which includes this playmat that I'm using and a bunch of other things. So pretty great value all around. So there's my value video. Thanks very much for watching. It's been quite a lot of fun putting this list together. Let me know in the comments what your most valuable cards are, or perhaps the luckiest you've been in your booster boxes, and I'll see you guys on another video.